we welcome you into this edition of the Cat Country KATcast. Kevin Hilly along with Aaron Hart and Jordan J. And we're talking country music today. Since that is what we do on Cat Country.
That's something we know a little bit of something about.
Exactly. And what we're talking about is, what do we consider our favorite, if you want to call it iconic, favorite. It's all going to come down to personal taste.
It will,
anyway,
right? Yeah.
Okay, but let's say the top 3 songs, country songs of all time, in our opinion. Aaron, I'm going to go to you first.
Okay, Patsy Cline's "I Fall to Pieces."
That is a good one.
Classic.
That is a great one.
You can't, you know what? You can't hear Patsy Cline and turn it off until it's done, you know?
Yeah. My mom had the album, so we would listen to it a lot growing up. So a lot of times when Dad would go out, with the boys and they'd go cut wood or whatever, and I was too little to go. So that's what we would play as we were doing housework. So whether we were folding laundry or doing the dishes or whatever, that was always Mom's go-to record to play.
Let me tell you, for me, it's the very first, this was like my foray into country. This was my very first country song I listened to. This is what made me fall in love with country music. Are you ready?
Yeah.
George Strait, Check Yes or No.
Oh,
or and then because I also really like I had to go with that one.
You're having the same issue as I. Yeah.
That was the very first country song that I really fell in love with. Was that?
Yeah.
I also really like George Strait's Amarillo by Morning. That's also another. So between those two, I don't know which one's better. I like them both. I had to include both.
I got to tell you, I got George. By the way, speaking of Patsy Cline, I mean, that Patsy Cline would be a hard one to choose because, that one that you mentioned, Walking After Midnight, Crazy.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Crazy, that was written by Willie Nelson, and it was actually, the original title on that was Stupid. He called it Stupid originally.
He called it Stupid?
And Patsy made it Crazy instead.
I like that name better. It's a much better song title.
It flows a little bit better,
but I had the same problem with George Strait, man. It's just like, it came down to me with either All My Exes Live in Texas, Write This Down, or I Cross My Heart.
Oh, that's a good one.
And
too.
I don't know. I'm going to go with All My Exes Live in Texas.
I was going to say, wait a minute, we're going with 3. You rattled off all 3.
No, I was telling you the ones I was struggling with. That's all. So
Yeah.
But I did make my.
You know what's funny is, so every time I hear that song, the memory that pops up. All my exes live in Texas. You know what? I think of playing Grand Theft Auto because it was on
the Grand Theft Auto?
They included that song on one of the Grand Theft Autos, and it was so great.
It seems like so out of place on GTA. I don't know.
So originally we were going to have 5 songs, and I had a George Strait song make my top 5.
Right.
And I went with George Strait's "Run."
Right. Oh,
yeah. That's hands down my favorite George Strait song of all time. But since we decided to go with top 3 instead of top 5.
Yeah.
We did decide to chop this down to 3 because, you can only take so much of us. So
I saw George Strait, by the way, in concert when it was him and Reba. It was like an insane. And
what
again,
I've seen that too.
Yeah, and again, one of my very first country concerts I went to, and I got exposed to George Strait and Reba. It was an amazing concert.
I saw the two of them together, and Leanne Womack actually opened up for them. So that was really
I'm trying.
Good show.
What's her name that she plays her friend Barbara Jean? She played Barbara Jean. What's her name? Like an actress. You know what I'm talking about?
In the show?
Yeah, in Reba the show. Yeah.
Blonde.
Yeah, she's blonde.
I can picture her.
Reba brought her out. She was also at the show. She duetted a song with Reba. It was so good.
How am I not thinking of her name?
I can't think of her name off the top of my head either.
Peterman.
Yes.
There you go.
She brought her out. They duetted a song together. It was amazing. I was like, this is a great concert.
The funny thing is, and Aaron probably more so, but you, both of you really grew up with country music around you.
Yeah, for sure.
Being from New Jersey, I mean, country was not exactly a big thing where I grew up. In fact, I didn't even touch country music. I mean, unless it was like a crossover thing. I would think it was like John Denver or something like that until I really came to Missouri. Briefly, I worked in Mississippi in the mid-'80s, and I was playing, and actually, one of the songs that's on my list here, I have to tell you, Highwaymen
Oh, okay.
Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and Waylon Jennings. You want to talk about iconic song? I'm sorry, I was playing that as a current in 1985.
It's awesome.
And I didn't understand at the time what a great song it would be. But oh my gosh, I hear that song, it just takes me away.
Okay, for me, hands down, the most gut-wrenching song in country music, George Jones, He Stopped Loving Her Today.
Oh.
Saddest song ever in music. Yep, that's true.
It's such a good, George Jones has a great voice, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But every time, I can't listen to that song without, tearing up a little bit. You get a little misty-eyed. It doesn't matter who you are, you know?
I mean, obviously, if you've heard the song 1,000 times, you know. But you don't know until the very end what happened in that song. He saves it for the end, how he stopped loving her because he was dead. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Sorry. In case you haven't, it's been out for a while.
Yeah. So, boy, that's a great choice too. Yeah, you got another one, Aaron? You want to?
Well, yeah, but we're going around.
We're going around in circles.
George,
okay.
Right.
So this one might be controversial because here's the thing. I think it was released not as a country song, but I am going to say it's a country song because it inspired lots of country artists. And it doesn't matter where you go. Any country concert you're at, any honky-tonk you go to, this song gets played despite it not being a country song, and that's Copperhead Road. I think it's a fantastic... Again...
Steve Earle?
Yeah, Steve Earle.
Yeah.
So, because he released it as kind of like a rock song, right? But it's so it's not exactly country, but we adopted it. I'm going to say country music folk adopted
I would count
the
it as
song.
country.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with that.
You can't... I hear that song. You can't not want to dance to that song. You immediately hear that song, 100 people go up to go dance, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's such a classic, iconic. It also inspired so many people. I mean, Chris Stapleton was probably there's so many people that have that kind of sound.
Doing
you know
a
what I
cover
mean?
of that
or just, I love it. That's a great song.
That's a good one.
As I was putting this list together in my mind, I did have a song on here and I was going to use it. I said, I got to think one of these guys is going to have it on their list, and maybe you still do. So I'm not going to include it just because, well, I'll just see what you say. Okay, but for me, I'm going to also go with Toby Keith. Toby, Who's Your Daddy? Again, and I battled between that and I Love This Bar. They're both great, man, but Toby Keith.
There went my phone.
There it goes.
Whoops-a-doodle.
That was the second week in a row that happened. You realize that?
Yeah, well... If I don't angle my phone a certain way, I get a weird.
That's okay.
I get a weird shadow on my face.
We share it all with you, warts and all here.
Yeah,
okay? We have nothing to hide. Okay.
There's weird lighting here in the studio,
Exactly,
and it doesn't matter how many times I bring it up. It's weird lighting.
It's just weird lighting.
And so I've bought a light, and it still is just even more weird lighting. So here we go.
So I'm going with Toby on that one. I miss Toby, man. His music was just. There was nothing you didn't like about Toby Keith, you know? So
Toby Keith was good, man. He'll be missed.
All right, and I like a good storyteller, so can't go wrong with Reba and the Story of Fancy.
Oh,
Fancy.
Reba Fancy.
It's another great song.
Side note, Mother of the Year right there. That's what we always joke.
It's a joke.
The welfare people came and took the baby. Yeah, took the kid. Yeah, okay.
Not a situation you want to be in.
So this song specifically too, when I became a dad, Don't Blink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't Blink, Chesney.
Kenny
Chesney knows how to pull at the heartstrings. If you're a parent. And
that's a good choice.
It is. That's such a great song. And it's so true of how fast kids grow up. It's nuts. If you don't have kids, you don't know because you just are going and living your life. But when you can see the passing of time, through kids, it's nuts. It's so quick.
Kenny has a knack. His songs have a lot of his songs focus on, look how quickly time flies.
Yeah.
Look how quickly our life is going by. Remember the things of your past. A lot of his songs are like that. And he's a craftsman with words.
That, you know? I love it. None of us want to really grow up, do we? It's everyone's let's just stay this. Can we just hit the stop button?
Jordan and I were just talking about that before we came in. That, how when you're a kid, man, all you want to do is grow up.
Yeah.
And then
when you grow up, all you want to do is be a kid. You know
kind of, or at least, enjoy the things you enjoyed as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a kid again. Too many people push me around, telling me what to do. I don't like that part of it at all. But, okay, I know we said 3 here, but would you guys agree, like, maybe let's all do it, say, an honorable mention?
Okay, I can do an honorable mention.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All right, one that maybe didn't make your list.
I got you.
Okay. Aaron, you want to start with one?
Okay. Dolly's 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Good one.
I like that one too. Dolly Parton. Like I knew one of us would probably have Dolly on here. I didn't put Dolly on here because I figured one of us would say Dolly.
And it was a huge pop hit.
Yeah,
I mean huge.
Yeah.
So.
But Dolly's such an icon, like
She
an
is.
American
True.
legend.
Dolly's universally loved.
She's had crossover hits like crazy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Her
hard
and
to
Kenny
find
Rogers,
somebody who doesn't like Dolly.
Yeah.
And those who don't are wrong.
There's something wrong with you.
that.
If you don't like Dolly.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't like puppies and love and flowers either.
She provides children free books. I mean, there's so many things Dolly does that is amazing.
Honorable mention.
My honorable mention is going to be Luke Combs. Houston, we have a problem. It's not one of his more popular ones. It's one you have to search for.
Okay.
If you haven't heard that though, Houston, we have a problem. It's so good. It's kind of a love song, but it's like he's got everything except he doesn't have his woman's not with him. So it's missing a part of him, right? He's like, all right, I got everything except my girl here.
With the Apollo 13 reference. I like that.
Houston, we got. I love it. That's if you haven't heard that song by Luke Combs, check it out. It's really good.
The song that even people who don't know country know. Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places.
Oh, that's such a
I mean, you can play that to a non-country crowd. They're going to recognize the song.
It's going to be played at every wedding.
It's true.
Every wedding
Is that
or
the I like 'em
anniversary
cold
party.
and tall? Is that the one? Yeah.
So, that's. I mean, when Garth Brooks came out of the gate in '93, was it 94, something like that? That album, Roping the Wind. Oh my gosh! Is
that the one that included Thunder Rolls? Is that
I
that song?
believe
that's a good
so.
song.
And if I'm wrong, I stand corrected.
Yeah,
but I think it did. But I mean, Garth. I mean, you think about and what Garth has accomplished now. He had that huge run at the beginning of his career.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then he sort of, I don't want to say disappeared, but it looked like okay, he's done. And then what was it, 5 years ago or whatever, he kind of surged back into prominence.
Mm-hmm.
Not many artists do that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's right. He got to have a heck of a fan base to be able to do something.
He did
like
his podcast or something, right, dude? He was making like videos on Facebook, and then he started
like live from Studio G.
Yeah, that's what it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember during COVID, when obviously there were no concerts or anything going on. He and Trisha did a thing from their basement because they have a studio in their basement. And they were doing like and on Facebook or what. I was like, this is good because we were so starved for entertainment. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great, man.
There were so many artists that were just performing free concerts because like people were dying for entertainment.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So we'd love to hear your list. If put together, say 3 and give it an honorable mention since we did too, of iconic country songs. What would you put on your list? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Your Mount Rushmore of country songs.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Ooh, that's good. Aaron, where might one share that list with us?
Oh, where they can share all their lists. Just email us, catcountry@mailzimmer.com.
All right. There you go. Feeling very country this morning.
Feeling very
Or this
country.
afternoon, or this evening, or whenever you're
Just
watching.
need a piece of wheat in the mouth, Feeling country.
Glad you went with wheat.
Yes. I guess Willie Nelson, Eric Church. I guess there's a lot of them that do that too.
That's for sure. Thanks for being a part of our latest Cat Country KATcast.